Ta-da! Hello everyone. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening. Welcome to Manhattan under the snow. Look at this. This is amazing. It's about 0 degrees or -1 in Celsius. In Fahrenheit that would be 32. I know, because it's a freezing point. Yeah, I didn't expect today to snow at all, to be honest. Okay, now I gotta tell you that just yesterday there were people wearing tank tops here. So yesterday it's been a day of complete spring. Basically, it was pretty warm. I was wearing, you know, those light coats that you put on in the middle seasons, and as I said, there were people in tank tops. Very warm. It was sunny all day. Perfect day to do a live stream around New York City, but I scheduled it for today, Sunday. So this morning I woke up. I don't know how many of you have seen my Instagram stories. I post sometimes Instagram stories on my Instagram account. I don't have many followers there because I don't use it that much. But if you want to stay connected more on an immediate level, then you can check them out. And please check out the stories that I did this morning because oh my god, I woke up to this beautiful snowfall. Let me show you a bit. Isn't it amazing? Let's see who's in the chat. Hi Tech7, hey now LS, Don Vito Casciaferro, Anirban. Nice to see you all. I haven't been doing a live stream in a while. Look how white this is. Oh my god. It's so pretty. I've been in my apartment all day and I didn't realize it got so white around, honestly. You know what? Let's take a stroll around here. Good afternoon, Ralph. Ralph is representing my patrons right now. He's the first one of them that I see in the chat. Yesterday we had a live stream. Sorry, not a live stream. Trying to flip the camera. Yesterday we had a Zoom call with my patrons, with a limited group of patrons, of course, and it was real fun. Ralph was there with us. Hello QWERTY, another one of my patrons that participated to the group call yesterday. It was great. I had a beer while we were chatting, so that was nice. And yeah, today outdoors. Oh my god. Hello James, hi John. Oh, look at these people. Oh my God. I did not expect this at all. At all. I repeat, yesterday we were wearing light jackets or even tank tops. Some people, how do you say, shorts, short pants, stuff like that. And today it's between 0 and -1 degrees Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit. And it's snowing big time. This is unbelievable.
But I also love the town.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to wipe my lenses quite often, I'm afraid. Oh God. It's like a winter wonderland here. Yes, Chris Hansen, winter wonderland. That's exactly what I was thinking. Hi from Uzbekistan. Oh wow. Hello there. Welcome to Manhattan. I mean, this is, oh my God, I cannot believe this. You know, one of the things that I prefer the most about living in New York City is the weather. It's never boring, which is very different than in Europe, because in Europe, I'm Italian, for who doesn't know, and I've lived in Germany as well. So I know how the weather is there, and it tends to be quite boring sometimes because it's not very dynamic. So when it starts raining, for example, or when it's cloudy, it is for many days in a row. Here in New York City, on the opposite, it's constantly changing. I mean, look at this. Oh, look there. There's a farmer's market today. Let's go take a look. Dutch bike blogger, hi. Since when are you back in New York City? Few days, a bit less than a week maybe. Yeah, I just came back. I'm so happy about this weather surprise. It's good for the live stream, isn't it? Look at this. Ciao Adam Bainbridge, another one of my patrons. We didn't see you in the Zoom call yesterday. We missed you. Hey now, my friend in Paris can't stand winters. One big gray cloud. Yeah, that's correct. Paris, I mean, north of France and north of Germany are very bad weather-wise. I mean, I guess some people might like it. I have yet to meet someone who likes the weather there, because it's indeed a big gray cloud. I was in Paris a couple of months ago and I did some Instagram stories and I talked about the weather there in the winter. Let's see what they offer here. Here's the Compost station. You know, there's no officialized compost collection in Manhattan. I mean, I think in the whole New York City. And so the only way you can collect compost is if you as an individual go to one of these stations in certain days of the week and certain times of those days, and you bring your compost there. And this is one of those. Usually at the farmers market there are these green points these points where you can bring your compost, and this is the clothing recycling point also. Chris, my wife from Kiev, would agree about the weather in Europe. When she was a little girl, she forgot about the sun during the winter as the sky was always gray and cloudy. Yes, that's correct. I come from Italy, and the weather is very similar to the Central Europe, let's say. If you go to the southern part of Europe, meaning Central South Italy, Spain, Greece, Portugal, I guess Portugal is even more different because they have the ocean there. The weather is pretty different. I'd say let's go on. Let's walk somewhere else. Oh, il Salento ti abbraccia. Ciao Gigi. Ciao a tutti i salentini. Sorry, I was speaking Italian, saying gorgeous region of Puglia region. Don Vito says it was snowing in Athens the other week. Wow, that's impressive. I bet Athens doesn't get snow very often. Christine, hi, we had 3 days of wonderful sunshine. Wow, that's I bet that also doesn't happen very often, right? In northern Germany. I mean, I was in Berlin last week, and yeah, it reminded me immediately how winters, not only winters, but most of the year really towards the cold season is in Berlin and in northern Germany in general, which is gray, very gray. But I must say, every situation has its own positive aspects, and even the fact of having so much grayness and so much staticity, I guess, in the weather, when you have that half day, I'm getting snowflakes in my eyes, when you have that half day of good weather, when the sun comes out and Jesus when the sun comes out and it brightens up all the colors, because that's the thing, when the sky is gray, really all the colors around you are very grayish, even if there are colors stand out very much. And yeah, when that happens, it's really wonderful. Let me know, please, when I need some wiping to my lenses, okay? Because I cannot see exactly how the image looks like. Out and about with yours truly. Does New York City celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Yes, there are big celebrations for St. Patrick's Day here in New York City. I personally have never celebrated St. Patrick's Day, so I could not tell you exactly what people do, but I see them all wearing green clothes and going to pubs and stuff like that. Really a big thing, St. Patrick's Day. But speaking about celebrations, let's see if I can cross the street. Speaking about celebrations, today is a very important day for Americans, I think, or that's what has been told me. That's what has been told me. Yes, sorry, I'm forgetting my English now, because it's the day of Super Bowl. what is Super Bowl? Well, I should ask you actually. I don't know exactly. I think it's a sports event related to a sport that is very popular in the US. I think it's the one where they have those sticks that they hit the ball and they run. I think it's called baseball, but if I'm wrong, it's just we don't have that sport back where I come from. Yeah, so basically it's this big event. I think it's the final of the championship or something like that today, and it's called Super Bowl. I don't know for what reason it's called Super Bowl, but someone was telling me yesterday evening that it's an event where families sort of gather to watch the show together, which is both a sports show, but also there is like live gigs of musicians and other types of shows in the breaks. And it's really a moment where families gather to have fun together in front of the TV and stuff like that. Is that true? Let me know, Americans, in the chat, because this is what I've heard. But Chris, baseball's champion. Oh my God, I said it wrong. Baseball's championships are in October. Is the World Series that is in October? Okay, so what is the sport of the Super Bowl? Oh my God, I'm getting so many comments now. I guess I'm gonna have to read them all later when I can watch the replay of this live stream. Don Vito Cascioferro says, let me get some. Baseball is British. It's called rounders in the UK. British colonists took the game other to America. Okay, I don't know if you say so. Okay, you seem to be very knowledgeable about this Super Bowl thing, so I leave this topic to you. I just wanted to give an input. Yeah, hopefully I've never been invited to watch this Super Bowl ever so far, but today it happened for the first time. I've been invited to a party in Brooklyn, I think. I got the text just before this live stream, so I think I'm gonna go. And hopefully there's gonna be lots of Americans there, because in your city, there are many Americans, but there are many people from other countries too. Because I would like to see how it's celebrated by, Americans that have been living in America their entire life. Or by their families, I don't know. Where am I going? I don't even know. You must go to a tailgate party one day. Yeah, so yesterday evening we were talking about this tailgate thing. Tailgate apparently is when you... Ooh. Amazon guy dropped the bicycle. Tailgate is when you meet up in front of the stadium and drink and party before the game or during the game if you don't get to go inside the stadium. Right? Hopefully. Yeah. I would love to do that. I love drinking in company and socializing. That's what I was saying yesterday to my patrons at our group call. We all had a beer together in our own homes. But we did it. It was fun. I loved it. I mean, ignore the mountains of garbage that you see on the sidewalks. Other than that, it's pretty, right? I like that the private shops or whatever, private citizens pay artists to do this kind of, how would you define this? Murales, I think? Okay, thanks for all the tailgating definitions that I see in the chat. Alessandro, New York is all under 5G nowadays or still in 4G. The other day when I switched on my American SIM card for the first time, I saw a 5G symbol on my phone. I'm not very knowledgeable, again, about this topic too, but I guess that means that we are under 5G. So far I've been staying in Manhattan though, so I don't know about other boroughs, but in Manhattan it seems like we have 5G. Ocean Planet, snow doesn't stick. Actually I'm surprised about how much it's sticking. It was probably like this earlier this morning. So now it's between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. and the temperature is rising. But before that, there's too much garbage in front of me. Let's switch the camera. Yeah, this morning it was sticking. Oh yes, it was sticking. I woke up around 5:30 and it just started to snow. And by 7, I would say there was a good, probably like this, like everything. Again, look at my Instagram stories because those show you pretty much how the situation was. And now the temperatures are rising. That's another difference of the weather. It's always pretty much, unless exceptions. It's cold in the night, cold in the morning, then during the morning temperature starts to raise until middle of the day, early afternoon, and then they start to fall back again into cold for the night. Here in New York City, it's really not like that. Very often it happens like it's happening nowadays, which is that, I mean, yesterday evening, I was out between 6 and 8 in the evening and it was probably 13 degrees Celsius, which would be probably in the 50s, 60s. Sorry, I'm not very good with Fahrenheit. Yeah, and then during the night it fell down to I mean negatives in Celsius, so -3 in Celsius, below freezing point basically. 28 could be Fahrenheit, and now it's raising again. Whatever, it's weather is very bizarre here and I love it the way it is. Ralph, thanks for reminding us all to hit the like button. So we say the algorithm that this live stream is kind of cool. Paolo, fa più freddo da te in Friuli o a New York? Where is the English, Paolo? Let's practice our English. No, I'm kidding. Paolo asked me if it's colder in Friuli, the region of Italy where I'm from, or if it's colder here. I would say here. Here it's a few degrees colder. Phil Green, Super Bowl, American football. Oh, it's not baseball, it's American football. Okay. Thank you, Pilgrim, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Alessandro, why don't you have gloves now? Your hands are a little purple from the cold. Well, yeah, and they look like an old lady's kind of hands. Because I don't have the touch in my gloves. They are not sensitive to the touch screen. Yeah, but I'm not cold. I have this jacket. I found somebody abandoned it in a dry cleaning shop. It's a long story, and basically I got it for free because nobody wanted it, and it's a bit too large for me, but it's very, very warm. It's a very good para jumper winter jacket, so I'm nice and warm for now. Also, as I said, now it's not that cold anymore. Like I would say 1 or 2 hours ago, the temperatures for some reason started raising. Who knows why? Who knows? But I have some gloves in my pocket, so don't worry. Yeah, I guess. American flag. No problem. Good, we need some wiping. Hello. Sorry. Hope you see better now. Guys from, by the way, we have 109 countries, so let me know in the chat. And my gimbal has stopped working. Sorry about that. You see those boxes that stick out of almost all windows? Those are the ACs. That's how ACs work here in New York City. I don't know if anyone cares about ACs, but I've always find that also very different than how things are in Europe. When you have AC in Europe, it's different system technology, but they are usually I mean they are hanged in they are very silent. These boxes that you see are so loud, but I think it's a matter of how expensive they are, because these ones, I think they're very cheap. whereas those ACs that we have back in Europe, they must be very expensive, I think. But sometimes I become crazy in the summer when the AC is on because they're so freaking loud. The delivery bike break for you. They always seem to try to run over AK, which would be Action Kid, my YouTuber colleague and live streamer here in New York City. Hi, Kenneth. Yes, the delivery guys are but they're also very sort of wow. I don't know, it doesn't look so cool on camera. I saw for a second such a poetic moment. Yeah, I was talking about the delivery guys. Yeah, these delivery guys on their e-bikes tend to be very dangerous. I also think that we all love them because we know, I mean, they are essential workers and they serve us food to our, you know, warm and dry homes while outside it's pouring rain or it's snowing. And also it is well known that these guys don't work restaurants anymore as it used to be back in the days, but they work. Oh, Elisa, super chat, thank you very much for this super chat. At some point I will finish this conversation. Okay, delivery guys, thank you for the super chat. Delivery guys, so they used to work directly for. It's not like that anymore. Nowadays they all work for like an app, like this Deliveroo. How are they called? Seamless, I think it's. I don't know, those apps. I don't like to use them. I mean, they work for not so much money and they work sort of as a freelancers, so they don't have any insurance. They don't have paid vacation or paid sick leave. So they are in a very bad situation, and I think because they are also in lower levels in the society, they have to work a lot to make a living. So basically my impression is that they overwork themselves, they work too many hours, they don't get enough rest, and they become very dangerous on the street with these e-bikes that can go very, very fast. So that's it. Don Vito, because in America they don't have proper worker rights. Well, yes, the United States is famous for not having good, how are they called, unions, I guess. I mean, worker rights are not really a priority in the American society, and so this is the result. But yeah, that delivery guy who was about to hit me was very nice. He apologized, which is something people in New York don't do very often. Huh. State law. Stop for people who walk within the crosswalk. Okay, they don't say that I'm illegal if I go here, right? Let's see what is there. Whoa. Oof. Win. Look at this. Oh, this is a quiet, nice little garden. I like this. Whoa, I don't know if you can tell, but right now it is snowing for real. Just Kate, hi! Yes, it is so pretty here. Another surprise for today. After the snowfall, which also surprised me completely. Look at this area. Let's go. I wonder if I get some protection from the snowfall down here. It's better. Ray, the trees outlined with snow are molto bello, very beautiful. Yes, I agree with you. Dr. Socrates from the Dominican Republic. I've heard it's a very, very beautiful country, the Dominican Republic. I wish to go there one day. There are many people from there here in New York City. And it is 85 degrees there, so 85 degrees would be, sorry, I need to wipe this, I think. Would be how much in Celsius? 28 maybe? Okay. Let me read some of your comments while I found this nice little spot where it doesn't snow at all. Thank you, tree. It's so nice down here. I feel so cozy right now. Let me. How do you people like the winter? I mean, okay. Since we were talking about the Dominican Republic, I should specify, how do you people like the winter in areas like New York City, where in the winter it's cold, it's gray, and it might snow also? I would like to know. I personally love it. Here in New York City, for example, it's very common among wealthy people to spend some days to take a vacation towards south, especially, I don't know, the Caribbeans or these, exotic destinations where it's 30 degrees Celsius, where it's very warm, I meant. But but for me, that would mean missing one precious week or a few precious days of winter, which I love so much. Robert, do you still use Couchsurfing after the paywall and everything? CS stays for Couchsurfing, by the way. I know you made your video in 2020 about it. Yes, so Couchsurfing is this website that's been going on since 2004, and it allows to travelers to meet online and to sort of host travelers around the world. Like if you have an extra couch or a spare bedroom, you can offer it online and fill out your profile. And so if someone is gonna visit your area, they can ask to stay at your place. Of course, you can select which people you want based on their profile and how your conversation online is going. It has always been free, and it was supposed to always be free, but 2 years ago they introduced a paywall to use the service. It's a very low paywall, and it's proportional to each country's GDP. So I think in the Western countries it's about $15 per year to use the service, so it's not a big deal. But the big deal is that, I mean, there's a whole ideological battle behind this topic, because it's about the meaning of the internet. Simply, the internet has been created to be a free place where people can connect from all over the world, can meet, can exchange opinions and ideas and perspectives. And Couchsurfing, to be honest, Couchsurfing has been, by the way, I say this in one of my videos that is titled "Is Couchsurfing Dead?" I told a little bit about the history of Couchsurfing there, and I discovered the very first social platform, so to say, or one of the first ones. Facebook came 1 year after Couchsurfing, for example. So yeah, it was an amazing project, and it was what I liked about it mostly that is different than platforms like Facebook is that Couchsurfing, for how it's surfing, brings your virtual interaction with a person directly to the reality. Because, you know, on Facebook or on Instagram, even worse, these Instagram and TikTok platforms, I think they're not so good because they only allow you to connect virtually with people, mostly. Of course, you can also meet in person people that you've met on these platforms, but that's not how they are used mostly. Whereas Couchsurfing, it makes almost no sense to meet a person online and then not meet each other personally. You know, like if you meet and chat with a person online, it's because you are about to travel to their country or they are about to travel to your area, and you are gonna host each other and have an amazing experience together. You know, you're gonna spend a few days together most likely, and yeah, have experiences together, real experiences, not scrolling each other's Instagram or TikTok feed, you know. So yeah, and this whole thing of Couchsurfing was supposed to be free from the beginning. From the founders always wanted it to be free, but then, I mean, the internet developed, things changed, other companies were built, like Facebook, for example, which started to make an income out of this data that they were collecting. And so prices started to rise also for, wow, I don't know if you can see the wind. Now I have to put gloves on. Sorry for moving the thing, putting the glove on. So also Couchsurfing had to adjust somehow, and they had to put a paywall, but the way they did it looked very scammy, honestly. As a more than 10-year user of the platform, I must say they did it very badly. It totally looked like a scam. So I'm very, I don't know what to think about it. I haven't used much Couchsurfing since then. Maybe I've been on the platform a couple of times. I don't even remember, but I haven't used it. Hey, now Meetup is still out there. just not use much. Yeah, I never used Meetup. I know that I have to use to meet people. Use for political meetup. You know, go jogging together, stuff like that. So never used it. 101 likes, Ralph. Okay, thank you very much. Ciao, David. David Finzi. It was his birthday yesterday, so happy birthday. A bit late, but I think it still counts. Happy birthday, David. Just Kate, I enjoy the winter, but around the middle of January, I've had enough. Bring on spring. Yes, I know what you mean. But I must say, and we also go on with the walk. I must say that, okay. I must say that even if at a certain point you've had enough and you want the spring, that extra winter time lets you enjoy what's coming next more. That's at least what I've learned in my few years of life. That's my philosophy on it. Hey, now I used to meet up for cycling and hiking friends. Yeah, that sounds very nice, honestly. I wish I would have tried that also. I always struggle to find hiking friends, honestly, and cycling friends too. With hiking, it's even worse in my experience. That's true, Mary Jane says, just Kate. I'm glad you agree. It's just, winter is just such a time for resting okay. Yeah. That's New York City, baby. Yeah, that's not an exception. I don't know if you saw the half-naked man running in the snow. That's quite common to see here in Manhattan, at least. Winter is such a moment to rest and reload your batteries, simply, that I love it. I would never, if I can imagine that if you lived in a place close to the equator, for example, you would have a much flatter line of energy throughout the year, which is also beautiful. It's fine if you like that, but I like these up and downs that you get during the year, where in the winter, when you can really not do much, you are forced to rest and to find an escape through other things, like art, for example, creating art. For example, in Iceland, I think, is the country with most artists per capita, and I've been there once, and you can really see that everybody there, not everybody, but I would say almost most of the people have an artistic take on things. They create something, and the reason for that is that it's so much north that they get so little daylight in the winters, and so they have to stay indoors and do other things other than going out and do things outdoors, So yeah, I like the fact that after you've spent a long winter like that, when the spring comes and you start going out and then the summer hits, you're just so full of energy and you are just sprinting everywhere and sleeping less and doing more, and it's such a joyous moment. I like that. What can I say? Right now I'm in the West Village, or Greenwich Village, I guess. This is Greenwich Village. I learned to pronounce it properly because I've always said Greenwich Village. Then I realized that it's Greenwich Village instead. Winter, great time to catch up on reading. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it meant. Isn't it amazing, that sensation of cozying up on the couch under a blanket with a cup of hot tea and catch up on reading? Reading novels or reading essays. I want to go this direction now. Star Rodriguez. Any advice for couples wanting to travel? Ooh. That's supposed to be the Liberty Tower. Liberty Tower. Oh my God. World Trade Center. It's too foggy. Okay, let's go here. Yeah, no. Star Rodriguez, I don't know. That's very generic. Couples wanting to travel. Yeah, sorry, I don't know what to answer to this. Alembic. Been taking winter hikes in the woods whenever there is fresh snowfall. Favorite exercise. Very good. In most recent summers, I just endure the misery of humidity and mosquitoes. Maybe you come from America? Because I've seen here there are so many mosquitoes in the summer. It feels unbearable. Actually, also I've seen through my favorite YouTuber, Jonna Jinton, that also in Sweden in the summer, it's almost unbearable to stay outside because there are so many mosquitoes. That's very sad, honestly, for us humans. Puerti says, cars always break down in the winter. That's the bad part about winter, because then I'm underneath it. Well, that's true, but I get a solution for you. Winter. Or use it as least as possible. You have to spend quite a bit of time repairing it and blah blah blah, but most of the times you just don't use it. Stay home and read. That's the point. Oh, Freedom Tower. Oh my God, I think I said Liberty Tower. Sorry, I made a mix between Liberty Statue and the Freedom Tower. At least I didn't call it statue. Come on. Okay. You know, someone was talking about delivery guys on bicycles earlier, that they are dangerous, but taxi drivers are much worse, in my opinion, in New York City. They're so dangerous. want to go to the Trump Tower and troll Trump people. No, I don't. And nobody should want to do that. Come on. This is... What is this guy doing now? You know, that's a very bad thing to say. I'm sorry. I know it's not, it doesn't look like a big deal to say, let's go to the Trump Tower and troll Trump people, but it actually is, because it's many little behaviors like this that add up and simply create hate between people. I'm obviously against Trump, but I would never say something like this. Everybody has the right to have an opinion. Everybody has the right to have their preferences. This is just not helping, you know? It's not helping anyone to just make fun of people who think differently than you. People lining up. Oh my god, where am I going here?
And I'm just laughing when you had to get...
I hope this is false. Yes. Nowadays they make these plants, these fake plants, so how do you say? They make them so good that they look real, but they're really not. Albert Vasquez. Hello from warm Houston, Texas. I get confused because we have Houston Street here in New York City. It's written the same as the city of Texas, but it's pronounced differently.
My fault, man. I don't know. Thank you, sir.
Doug, I also like all the gazebos for cafes very much. It's been best thing that happened to New York City during the pandemic so far. Dan Helme, hi, welcome to the chat. MJ, what are your thoughts on the sounds of New York City having been away for so long? You know, I was these days working from my apartment, and I was thinking about it. Yeah, it's very loud, but you know, in general, I think that I feel like in America people are pay less attention to the ambient noise around them, if that makes sense. Meaning that, of course, noise from traffic, from machinery, from alarms, sirens, and all this stuff, you can find it everywhere in every city. But in comparison to, for example, I was in Berlin last week and I found it, I was in the very city center. You know, I was not like somewhere very quiet, but it was still so quiet, so incredibly quiet and peaceful. Yeah, and so I don't know, here instead it's so loud. And yesterday evening, as I keep saying, I went out to have a drink with some people. I keep saying it because it's a rare event. Honestly, I don't go out very often anymore. And you know, sometimes you're in the middle of a conversation and this ambulance or firefighters pass by with these sirens that they are so loud in such a deafening way. You know, actually, I'm curious to know if anyone knows something about this topic. 3 or 4 years ago, when I was coming to New York City for the first time, I read somewhere that they wanted to change the sirens of, police, ambulance, all these kind of cars that have sirens in the cities. They wanted to change them to the European standard type of siren because it was much less invasive for human ear, basically, although as much loud. But then, I mean, 3-4 years later, we are still here. Who is this guy? General Jose Artigas, national hero of Uruguay, protector de los pueblos libres. Someone Google this guy and tell us who he is. I wonder why an Uruguayan hero is right in this place right now. I mean, of course, New York City is a very multinational place. Still, why here? Hey Now says, yes, New York City wanted to switch to European. Don't know why they didn't. Huh. Anyone who lived or is from New York City doesn't even notice noise. It's immune. O samba do Friul. Mandi Friul, c'è mood. Mandi. Hi there, Mandi. Where are you from? From Friuli? I don't think so. What's a Rambler? Dutch bike blogger. Let's go. Sorry. I'm moving the camera and putting my gloves on. We're getting closer to Tribeca, which is one of my favorite neighborhoods in Manhattan, and I rarely go there, so I'm glad to go there today with you guys. I mean, that skyscraper that you see there, I like it so much. People have opinions about it because it's very visible, like you can see it from wherever in New York City, and some people like it, some don't. I like it very much. Look who's speaking out from the clouds. Actually, you don't see it. Let me fix it. Samba do Friul, I'm Canadian. Hi there, Canada. So many Friulans in Canada. Chris, that's not unusual to have statues of foreign leaders or artists and such in US cities. Not sure why though. In Washington DC, we have statues of Simon Bolivar and Taras Shevchenko, for example. Nice to know. I mean, I think that's a very nice thing to do, even if it doesn't have a particular reason. Doug, I tried counting how many city bikes, approximately 40 bikes, maybe 50 dogs. Okay, not sure what you were counting, but I can tell you that now that I came back to New York City, things went crazy with city bikes. They added, at least in my neighborhood, the East Village, they added so many dogs, so many bikes. I'm a city bike user, and I'm a supporter of cycling mobility in cities because it's more sustainable and better for everyone, really. So I'm very happy about it. The only thing I would say is that they could have asked or at least gave notice in advance to the population living there, because we have a big parking problem during the pandemic. Like, me and my husband got a car exactly at the beginning of the pandemic because he owns a restaurant. He needs a car to go grocery shopping and stuff. And yeah, it's very, like, there are wars for parking spots right now in Manhattan. That's all I'm about to say. And now with these new city bike docks, I don't know what's gonna happen, because of course the docks are taking away space from even more space from parking lots. But while I was talking to you, I was looking at this building right there in the middle. It's pretty curious, isn't it? I wonder how it is to be inside there, because you have windows on one side. Sorry, in the meantime, that's the situation with my gloves. You have windows on one side and on the other, and it's very narrow. Batsan, is that a residential skyscraper, the one that looks like Jenga blocks? You mean like that one, right? I think it is residential. Not completely sure though. Hi, Victoria! Thank you for welcoming me back in New York City. It's sort of faux Flatiron building. Well, that's very, yeah, I mean, there are some elements in common, let's say, but I wouldn't go so far. This is a very, always a very strange area, I must say, of Manhattan. Like, I mean, this area here. I've always been a bit surprised because there's not much. There is a lot of traffic, and you know, there's literally not much around. It's a big empty space with these big buildings around, and it feels a bit disorienting almost to walk here. Mike, let's see what you wrote. A person continuously exposed to 85 dB over a 8-hour work shift will reach 100% of their daily noise dose. Oh, is there such a thing as a daily noise dose? I've never heard of that. Sounds interesting though. See how much traffic there is here? I don't know if you can hear also the noise. It gets very intense. And again, empty space. Doug, I'm glad you can see how people are cycling in the winter in New York City right now. I personally have never cycled with snow in New York City. because I've never been equipped for that. I've cycled in the winter in the city, but not when the temperatures went below freezing point, because at that point I almost bought equipment for going by bicycle with very cold temperatures, because you need very expensive technical gloves and stuff like that. But yeah, then I didn't do it, simply. Ooh, speaking about Turkish lira, I can see. Dominic, would you ever think to travel to Siberia in the winter, since you like winter? I mean, yes. Actually, I've been thinking about doing the Trans-Siberian, how do you say, Trans-Siberian, to take the Trans-Siberian train. And I would do that in the winter for sure. So yes. Alianur, thanks for the super chat. You know, speaking about visiting Siberia in the winter and cycling in the winter, there is an Italian guy who, he's very young, he's younger than me. Here we are. Whom he's a bit crazy. He goes, okay, let me show my face sometimes. Maybe he travels by bicycle in very extreme weather conditions, especially winter conditions. So he's been traveling in Siberia with his bicycle all by himself. Like, he's pretty crazy, and I will tell you his name right away so you can search for it if you want, because it's really amazing. He's called Lorenzo Barone. I repeat, Lorenzo Barone. Try to not Google it, YouTube it, because he has a YouTube channel, but he has also done, you know, interviews in other channels of other people, and he's really a bit crazy, but he does it. Like, he literally sleeps in a tent, you know. It's not like traveling by bicycle during the day and then you arrive to the next town and you are in a hotel room or somewhere warm. He travels for days in a row in the winter in Siberia. We're talking about minus 50 degrees Celsius. All by bicycle, by himself, with the tent, and sleeps in the tent. So we're not talking about, you know, surviving to very cold temperatures like 0 degrees, like, which would be 32 Fahrenheit. We're talking about controlling your sweat rate becomes essential for your survival, because, you know, if you start sweating and you keep staying outdoors, that little liquid from your sweat freezes on your body, and that means that after a few hours you are dead. So crazy. Oh, it's my turn. Dominic, why do you like winter so much? I explained it in the first part of this, or in the middle of this live stream. Because it's a resting time and it opposes to the summer. But I already explained it, so I'm not gonna do it again. On walks like this, have you by chance bumped into other known YouTubers? That was yeah, like Studio 368 guys. I don't know who are the guys of Studio 368. I mean, I know that it's a project related to Casey Neistat, or at least it used to be. I guess not anymore, since he doesn't live in New York City anymore. But no, I don't know them. I don't know them. The only YouTubers I know are Urbanist, Action Kid, John Barr, and Jennifer also. And I actually bumped into Action Kid twice during my live streams by chance. People keep asking me, is it true that that meeting was by chance? It was not planned? Yes, it is. I never planned to meet Action Kid. And first time we met was during my very first live stream on the channel, which was, it's called something like New York City. It's called New York City right before the pandemic, before the lockdown. It was right the day before the first lockdown in 2020. Second one was the live stream before this one, which is called I'm Back. In October I did it. We just met by chance in Manhattan simply. Yeah. Oh, and this is the famous building that my colleague Ariel from the channel Urbanist made a video of, and I suggest you to check it out because it's very interesting. It's a building without windows, basically, very mysterious here in Manhattan. Yeah, if you're interested in mysteries, you can check that out. Someone found Lorenzo Barone. He's a free spirit. Oh yes, he is. You know, he so, wow, it's so loud here. He was biking around Siberia while COVID exploded, and so he took a few days to get to the next town and actually get some news from the war. So loud. See, this is what I mean. So loud. Come on, how can I get used to this? Yeah, I was saying he was traveling around, and then pandemic happened. He had to stop in this town that he found, and he actually met a Siberian woman there. And after 1 year or two, they traveled together a little bit also, and then they decided to get married. So there was also a nice romance story there. Look at this building. I never noticed it until I was walking here one time with Ariel from the channel Urbanist, and he pointed out at me and he told me, do you know that this building, look at it, it has no windows. It's like a tower with no windows. And yeah, you don't really know what there is there. So there are a whole bunch of theories, which I'm not very much into these kind of mysteries. I'm like, whatever. But if you are, he made a video that went viral, I think, very successful about this one. So if you go on the channel Urbanist and you go on his most popular videos, you will find this one too, I think. It went very well. Okay, look at this. I like this kind of views. Very linear perspective. I put gloves on the same way you do, Dutch Bike Blogger, with my teeth. Yeah, of course, when I have no hands available. Cyclist style, I guess. I said checkout sounding like an American. Gary, really? You know, I almost started this live stream with a "What's up, everyone?" That would have been terrible. Ooh, my phone battery is slowly dying because I guess it has to battle the cold, so it makes sense. No, sorry, wrong camera. I love this view. So this is the neighborhood of Tribeca, and I think it's the prettiest one here in Manhattan. And as I said, I never come here, so thank you for giving me the chance to come here. Marina, ma quanti gradi ci sono, Mary Jane? Mi sembra freschetto. Yes, Marina, it is pretty cool. It is 0 degrees Celsius. No, probably it's a little bit more now. Okay, I'm gonna... My right hand is frozen now. But I actually have... I'm gonna show you what I have. I just came to this little corner to protect myself from the snow and the wind. I have this thing. It looks like a soap bar. It's actually a hand warmer. You know, I suffer a lot for cold hands. I always have cold hands. It's really ridiculous, and cold feet. And I got this one out of Amazon for $25. And I was really hoping it would solve my problem, but it's really... I wouldn't recommend it. So I don't